Well, I wanted to share with you my typical loadout on jobs that I do out in the field. Again, I'm more on the consulting side now. I do run an occasional service call, put in units, repair units, that sort of thing. But a lot of my work now is very heavy on the diagnostic side. So I'll share with you some of the things that I bring to a job. Here I have a backpack that has a lot of precision instrumentation in it. I break this out on comfort consoles when I'm investigating comfort and humidity and other air quality problems. This is my everyday tool bag. This pretty much comes with me on every call because it has my basic tools for doing most of the residential work that I'm going to run into. And this is my gas heating toolkit. This is a bag from Sourman. It's got my Sourman combustion analyzer, several probes. We'll get into all this stuff individually here in a minute. And then finally, I've got a few other little extras that I carry with me. So this is a carbon monoxide personal monitor. This is the SensorCon. This is really, really good to have with you, even if you're not in a gas-dominated climate. I'm in a heat pump-dominated climate, but there's still gas water heaters. There are still attached garages. There's still reasons why you want to be able to read your carbon monoxide in the house. My Atmo Probe personal indoor air quality monitor. I typically set this on the kitchen table when I go in and do anything, and then I set my keys right next to it. That way I don't leave it there on the job, but it is there to just read the indoor air quality while I'm out and about doing whatever I do in the house, whether it be a service call, a comfort consult, an estimate, anything like that, because it's good to read the indoor air quality in the house so that you can make some recommendations based on real data. And finally, this is just a portable charger that will go into my phone. I have a Samsung phone. This is just because everything that I do is linked to my phone. My phone battery dies very, very quickly, and I've got an older Samsung phone, and until I replace with one with a fresh battery in it, this comes in handy. This plugs in while my battery is getting low, pretty much has a full battery charge in it, so that just helps me to keep going and not get grounded with stupid things like the battery in your phone starting to die. All right, here's everything that I carry in this Vito Pro Pack. This has been a really good tool bag, and I'll tell you, if you're just doing typical service and light install startups on the residential, light commercial side, this is all you need. You can keep the rest of your big tools somewhere else. But we'll just start over here at the left. I went down the DeWalt train years ago, and I haven't switched over. I probably would like to switch over to Team Red at some point in time, but for right now, everything on Team Yellow is working. This is just typical impact driver. I do keep a short chuck here. I also have a longer chuck here when I need that, and then I also have a really long extension for like working on furnaces and that sort of thing, and a right angle adapter as well. And also, because I drill a lot of test ports, again, we don't drill holes in HVAC, we drill test ports. I got a small unibit, a Phillips bit, small brush for brushing away the dust and debris out of units. Of course, I always got Sharpie just in case. This is a Klein wire crimper cutter set. I've got just a cheapo wire stripper because I left my good ones up in an attic, so I punish myself by buying a cheapo until I can go back there and get the good one back. Then I've got just a fold-out Allen wrench set, of course a service wrench, and a ratchet with the bigger Allen wrench set on there because this doesn't reach some of the condensing units that I work on, so that's kind of a pain. As we continue to go here, I've got a precision screwdriver for working on thermostats and other low voltage stuff. And I am an old school tech. Back in the day when I did commercial industrial, we used to carry a 6-in-1 screwdriver, a adjustable wrench, and a pair of channel locks, and we could do 90% of the work that we needed with just those three tools. I always just threw those in my back pocket, so I still always carry these in my toolkit. Then we get into the field piece side here. So I've got 3 field piece temperature probes. These are labeled outside, return, and supply because you need all 3 for Measure Quick. We continue on over here. I got the field piece manometers. And I've also got the field piece pressure probes. These are more smart probes. On the one that goes on the high side, I've got this core depressor tool so that I don't spew a bunch of liquid refrigerant on myself. Then as we continue over, we've got 2 temperature clamps because again, I'm a big user of Measure Quick and you need all this stuff here. You got to have 9 probes in order to get a good Measure Quick diagnostic. As we continue over, I've got the Supco IDVM 550. It connects to Measure Quick. It's a power quality meter. I can do power factor, that sort of thing, and I can do efficiency and fan efficacy tests with Measure Quick. So I can go and hook up all these probes, and I can tell whether your 15 SEER unit is actually working at 15 SEER, which is a pretty cool sales tool. Then as we get into my meter leads, here's something different that I do. I connect one alligator lead and one regular test probe on here, and that is because I like to hopscotch when I troubleshoot. So I'm going to hook up that alligator clamp on one side, then I'm just going to hopscotch around with this test lead here. It's the super thin kind, so I can get into like Molex plugs, that sort of thing. And then just in case I want to go back to either or on the other side, I've got the extra ones here. And just to round things out, I always carry a little electrical tape, a little Teflon tape, just to kind of get you out of a bind. Just a couple other things. I've been working on a mini split, and it's got that stupid 5/16 on there. Then this is a 5/16 1/4 inch adapter. I'm also going to need to get some adapters for the new A2Ls. And then this is a little T that I rigged up. This would allow me to put a charging hose on my smart probes and be able to charge a system just by using a hose, a scale, and a jug without breaking my analog gauges out. The other cool thing about this bag is that there's a little pouch back here. You can carry a lot of stuff. I carry extra fuses, jumper wires, crimp terminals, fuses, a little circuit popper, just other things that you might run into that it saves you a trip back to the truck if needed. So I just absolutely love this bag from Vito. This little backpack, I can't remember where I got it from. It's starting to fall apart. I need to get another one. Well, what's cool about this backpack is it has a USB port right here. So you can put a large battery in here and you can charge your stuff without any power, but I don't really have to use that much. In this pouch here, I've got a whole bunch of chargers for all this stuff because battery life does become an issue. And I've got a series of manometers. We'll start off with the Retrotech. This is the DM32. It's a dual port manometer, so I'm going to break that out when I do duct leakage testing and my blower door test. This is their new Solo. This is a single channel manometer, does not have any Bluetooth or Wi-Fi, but it is just as accurate as this one right here. It's just a bare bones but super accurate manometer. And then I know these guys don't like to be next to each other, but they'll just have to get over it. This is the TEC G8. This is a Wi-Fi and Bluetooth manometer. Also the TrueFlow grid. This is going to talk to the TrueFlow grid. That's really, really important. That's also part of my loadout. The Roomulator is a little card that they came up with to kind of help you to see what size passive return you need to install in a bedroom that is overpressurized. And of course, I've got hoses of different lengths and sizes here. My thermal camera. This is the Hike Micro Pocket Testo. Is a hot wire anemometer. I can stick that in a duct to figure out what the velocity is. Of course, this is a vane anemometer that I can put on registers and grills in a pinch. And then also from Testo, I've got a moisture meter, so I can see whether wood surfaces and other surfaces are wet when I do some moisture diagnosis. This is a smoke puffer. There we go. So it just helps me visualize it, helps the homeowner visualize what's going on. Here's a smaller one that I got a while back from Cirrus. On a typical comfort console, in addition to all this stuff, I'm also using the TrueFlow grid. I carry the TrueFlow grid in my truck at all times, just because even on a service call, I'm going to break it out and quantify airflow. I don't necessarily have to be on a comfort console. Then we get into the rare occasion that I work on gas appliances. I've got my Sauerman Sika 030. It's a nice little residential light commercial combustion analyzer. It is the best combustion analyzer I've ever owned. I've got two probes here. I got just their traditional probe that goes into like a flue pipe for a furnace, and then I've even got this flexible one here that can also go into that pesky chamber, like in a water heater, that you kind of have to bend it to get it in there. That's where this comes in handy. All that fits really nicely in the box. Here's also what I carry in here. I've always got a spare meter. This was my main meter when I did industrial work, but because it does not have Bluetooth or measure quick connectivity, I really can't use it with a lot of the residential work, but it's here just in case. I've also got a spare manometer, but typically I'm using the other ones that I've already shown you. And then I've got a couple spare temperature probes. These were the first generation Testos, and this is just a digital thermometer. Again, these are mostly tools that I've upgraded from, and I've gone to using other stuff in my main carry, but these are where I keep my spare tools because there's plenty of room in that awesome bag. And in the off chance that I have to work on gas appliances and I don't have some of that other instrumentation, I can do everything I need with what I have here. Here's a little brush that I clean burners with. This thing's seen better days. Probably need to upgrade it. It's been smushed in another box for too long, but I'm going to carry a brush like this in my gas bag just so I can brush out burners on a furnace. Also in this kit, I always carry some RTV silicone that's wrapped in a rag. And I got this little pouch here that goes in one of these little side pockets, and that's just got little doodads for converting to different connections, reading gas manifold pressure. When I do combustion analysis, I drill a hole in the vent pipe, and I will plug that hole with this little bolt here. So I'll put some RTV silicone on there, and then I'll put the bolt in. When I'm working with plastic pipe, I can actually thread that hole so that bolt screws right on in, and I have a seal. There's nothing wrong with doing this. Never had any issues with it. It's probably not legit if you talk to some purists, but you know, they can go kick rocks. And then if I'm working like on an 80% furnace, then the unibit that I had in my main bag, we'll just drill a slightly bigger hole, and then we'll just put a whole bunch of silicone on this and pop it in there. And then it can easily be removed the next time I service the unit and put a little more silicone in there and just keep doing it. That's not all the tools I have. I also have an install bucket just with stuff thrown in here. Everything that I typically need for a residential install will go in here, and there's a few other things that are too big for this tray. And then here is my secondary tool bag. This was my industrial tool bag back in the day. I've had this Vito bag forever, this thing, probably over 15 years. And it's just got duplicate tools of what I have in my everyday tool bag, plus larger tools. And then on this side, I've got some more sockets, wrenches. I carry both standard and metric here, so even if the truck breaks down, I've got enough stuff to maybe get back on the road. I carry different types of sockets, different sizes, quarter-inch kit in here, and then of course some metric, some star bit, some Allen sockets. So just a little bit of everything. I used to use this bag a lot when I was changing compressors out, doing big, heavy industrial work. I don't use it as much, but I can't bring myself to take it off the truck now that I'm doing mostly residential. Well, that's not everything I have. I also have power tools and big pipe wrenches and stuff that I just can't bring myself to take off the truck that I may or may not need maybe once a year. But this is pretty much everything that I typically use on a weekly basis. What do you think? What do you think I'm missing? What do you carry in yours that you think I should carry in mine? What ideas does this give you? Comment below. Thanks for watching. Work safe.